Ticket Business, how you can acquire over 100 leads per week consistently like clockwork. This is the same thing that we use to scale 4 of our agencies to over 20,000, 2 of them to over 40,000. This is the same thing that we've taught 250 businesses online to grow and scale their business. So this is a proven bulletproof process. So that being said, let's jump in. If you're struggling to get leads, if you're struggling to get appointments, this will absolutely solve that problem forever. So let me just show you the overall flow here. So 100 leads should amount to 2 to 6 extra closes if it's not within the week, every time that you actually execute this process, you should get out of it 2 to 6 closes. Now I've written here, this will give you more time to sleep in, right? So whatever your business goals are, whether you're trying to get a lot of cash, for me, my biggest goal at the moment is to buy back more of my time. And usually when I have more time, I like to sleep. So it's a bit stupid. It's not that inspiring, but for me, a little bit more time to sleep is what having this process has helped me do, at least. So that being said, let me go through the 6 platforms that we use. So this is like a pretty full-on masterclass. So we're not going to go into the specifics of each of these. We're just going to give you the high-level overview, but give you all the tools, all the keys to the kingdom so that you're able to implement this on your own. So we've got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, paid ads, cold email, cold SMS. I just want to do a quick note for paid ads. So a lot of people criticize paid ads, and the reason they criticize it is because they have not taken the time to learn how to do paid ads. And just a quick note, guys, if you do want help scaling your agency and getting more appointments on your calendar, guaranteed, there's a link in my bio. You can book a call to speak with either me or our team. We'll take you through exactly how that works. But with paid ads, people criticize it because they don't know how to do it. I spent, I reckon, over $30,000 getting one-to-one training, and I read over 20 copywriting books. I can actually share the list of 20 copywriting books that I read to get really good at paid ads. We've spent over 1.5 mil on ads profitably for over 250 clients. And so our processes and methods are based on that, so they work. And that's the biggest thing with media buying, is you need to talk with someone who's already done it. Someone who talks about it is fine, but particularly when it comes to media buying, it's very important that you talk with someone who's done it. That's why within our program, we actually have someone who spent over 3 mil on agency ads for local business owners, like client fulfillment for agencies, because they're an expert. And you're an expert by experience, not necessarily by knowledge, but by experience. So that being said, there's also cold email, cold SMS. So the daily inputs. So these are actually weekly inputs. Let me just fix that. So weekly inputs, 250 DMs, 20 posts on Twitter, 150 DMs on Facebook, $100 on paid, 2,500 emails, 500 cold SMSs. Now the results of each of these, this is actually fairly conservative. 20 leads, Instagram, 10 leads, Twitter, 10 leads, Facebook, 20 leads paid, 20 leads cold email, 25 leads cold SMS. Now I can already hear you guys saying, what do you define as a lead? We define as a lead someone who's put up their hand and they've replied to your outreach or replied to your ad saying that they're interested in the bait piece that you have to offer. So the bait piece is usually in your script. It's some sort of offer. So it could be, hey, we can help you get an extra 10 clients per month using our proven process. The best part is, if it doesn't work, you get a full refund. Something like that. That's a bait piece. So anyone who says yes to that is qualified as a lead. And you know that they're a good lead because out of the 105 leads that you get, you will at least this is probably more like 30 bookings, right? You'll probably at least get 30 bookings. And out of the 30 bookings, you will get 20 shows. And out of the 20 shows, it's more like 4 to 8 closes. I'm just going to change the numbers there. Okay, that being said, let's go into the nuts and bolts. So when it comes to the scripting, now this is most important for Facebook, Instagram, cold email, cold SMS. Now, all of these elements are in one message on cold email and cold SMS. So I'm just going to have a little note here. It's one message only. you don't do like a follow-up message with these methods. So we have the opener. So the opener could be something like, hey, do you do Facebook ads, right? Now, the reason that this is such a good opener is because the response rate is extremely high. Now, the response rate is high because people think you're a potential client for them. Now, I've found that the pull to reply to someone who asks you about your service is very strong. So business owners will naturally just reply straight away. The response rate is crazy. Now, once you get them to respond, you say, great. Are you looking to get, whatever result that you can produce for them? So if you're a video content editor, you can say, are you looking to create more video content for your brand, for instance? And if they say yes, right, then you have the specific offer. So great. We're actually looking to help niche get result. Best part is if we don't get result, you get risk reversal. So it's very important that you make the offer a no-brainer in the outreach script or in your paid ads, because that is what's going to get people in the door and get the information. And then immediately you want to tell them, can I explain how this works? Now, this is more relevant for Instagram and Facebook, where you have like a several cadence follow-up. But you do want to do the same with cold email and cold SMS. At the end of the script, you just say, if you're interested, please reply. Now, this is where the explainer, you need to have a 2-point process explaining number one. So this needs to be very simple. How it works. And then number two, the result they can expect. So you don't want to give them a laundry list of what you have to offer. You just want to be very simple, very brief, and then explain how it works. Now, once they've said, yep, that's great, then you send them a link to book a call. Okay, so that is the scripting. So it usually falls under the opener, the generic offer, the specific offer, the explainer, and then to book a call. Now, in terms of the targeting, now we got a lot of different ways that we can target each of these accounts. But when it comes to anything that is social, we look for influencer accounts. So for instance, if you were a real estate agent in Australia, there are certain influencers that you follow. So a big influencer that a lot of Australian real estate agents follow is Tom Panos. So he's a real estate influencer, right? You literally can look for, literally type in real estate influencer. I bet there would be apps that help you search for influencer accounts across socials. So definitely look into that. So influencer accounts, then you want to look at followers of followers. So once you find like followers here and you look for people who are, let's just look for real estate agents here because we want to search for real estate agents. Okay, so I know this guy's a real estate agent because he's from Ray White. So what you can do is follow this guy and then look at his followers of their followers. Now, obviously, he doesn't have any followers, so he's not a really good example, but you could have this guy, followers of followers, XYZ, XYZ. And obviously, different platforms work better. So typically, local business platforms that work well are Instagram and Facebook. More online platforms work better on platforms. More online businesses work better on platforms like Twitter. So influencer accounts, followers of followers, and then you can look for hashtags. So you can go on Instagram and you can search for certain followers based on a hashtag, or you can even use an app called, pretty sure it's Growman. And so what Growman lets you do is it actually lets you search. You can actually extract user profiles by hashtag. So for instance, I could go here enough. If I search hashtag real estate, say go, and then it will pull a whole bunch of people in the real estate niche that I could hit up, right? Bam. So we instantly get leads like that. So that's another good targeting method. That is the hashtag hack. If you use this app, Growman, it's a very powerful app. You can even pull people's phone numbers. Sorry if that person's phone number's now visible. Don't call that person. Don't call that person. Okay, cool. So that's how the targeting typically. That's how the that's how the targeting typically works. That's how the targeting typically works. In regards to the follow-up, now this is super, super important. And if you're getting an appointment setter to do this, a VA appointment setter, you need to explain that there's three parts to the process. There's the initial DM that they send out at the beginning of the day. There's the follow-up that's usually at midday. And this is where they check who's responded to the initial message and they reply. And then there's the follow-up at the end of the day. Now, the reason that we do this, okay? The reason that we do this is because you need to follow up and you need to engage with the people while they're there. So I do this is you need to engage with the leads while they're there. I call this the fish on the hook principle. So what does that mean? So when you're fishing and you get a fish on the hook, you don't just suddenly drop the fishing rod and go, oh, it's time for lunch. When you've got the fish on the hook, you reel the fish in, right? So you spend as much time as you possibly can reeling the fish in, because if you don't, you're going to lose the fish, right? So that means when a prospect's engaging with your VA in a conversation, you got to train your VA or your appointment setter, please engage with this lead while they're on the hook, okay? So that is how you really conduct the process with Instagram and Facebook. Now, I just want to go into Twitter and paid ads and cold email. So cold email, we do 500 outreaches per day, 2,500 a week. Now, we send out one email. That's it. This will get us 20 leads minimum. So what's that? 4 leads per day for 500 emails per day. Now, these leads are good. At least 1 in 3 to 1 in 2 will book in. We have a scripting process that is very similar to this. It's just laid out in one message. Now, the same goes for SMS. SMS is actually even better. You can send out 100 messages, you get 5 leads back. So that's a 5% response rate. Emails about 1% response rate. Use cold SMS with care. Make sure that you've got good contacts that you're messaging, and make sure that you've got a really super, super dialed in script. If it's too spammy, too sort of like official or corporate-y, it won't work. It needs to be very personal, like it's coming from a personal message, because I'm pretty sure there's some legal issues with sending out spammy, businessy, corporate-y SMSs. Now, Twitter. Twitter is totally different to all of the other ones. I've found that cold DMing on Twitter is okay, but it's actually better to produce really good content on Twitter. So with Twitter, if we go back to the flow, it's actually 4 pieces of content on Twitter per day. Now, there is actually a process with Twitter. So let me just open up the process with Twitter. So what you want to be doing with Twitter is you want to be doing 4 posts per day, and there are 4 types of posts. So we have a thread post, right? We have a shortlist post, which looks like this. So you want to usually in your Twitter post call out the audience and then talk about an issue, a problem, or a desire that they have. So if they want to close more deals, or if they're struggling to close deals, there's the desire and the problem. And then you can list out a few bullet points of how they can fix that problem. A quick takeaway post, right? So a quick takeaway post would be, if you're struggling to lose weight, one of the biggest ways to solve that is to drink more water, because you feel fuller, you have more energy, and you won't eat as much when your stomach is full of water. That is like an example of a quick takeaway post. It's something people can easily consume. It doesn't take 100 words, 200, 300 words for them to read. They instantly see the benefit and the solution to their problem. We then have mini threads. So a mini thread is like this sort of thing where you've got like a step-by-step process of, so this is a good example of a thread starter. If you're under 10K per month, this is the first thing you want to do is to get above 10K a month. Here's how. And then you have each of these represent a separate tweet. So 1, 2, 3. Now, then we have a lead magnet post. This is where you're going to generate leads. So with the lead magnet post, you need to call out the audience. You need to talk about a benefit that they're going to get, and use specificity. So apply Mark Ford's the 4 use of headlines: ultra specific, useful, unique, and ultra specific, useful, unique, and urgent. Okay. You want to call out the benefit that they get from it, have some sort of mechanism or a secret process a part of it, and then have the actual asset that they can get, which is usually a 7-minute SOP. Now, very important at the bottom, when you're using Tweet Hunter, you need to get them to retweet, follow, and comment to auto DM. So you want to have an auto DM set up with Tweet Hunter. Tweet Hunter is a useful app to have. So that's Twitter. Now, the last one is paid ads. Now, paid ads, to get 20 leads per week at $100 ad spend, you're going to have to do what's called a lead magnet ad. Now, a lead magnet ad is very similar to something like this in terms of the ad copy. But then what I will say, the most important thing when it comes to creating a lead magnet ad is the creative, or any ad on Facebook or TikTok or whatever, is the creative. You need to have really good creative image, video that you use in the ad to fully emphasize the benefits, the attractiveness. It's got to be attention grabbing of the actual benefit that you're providing your customer with the lead magnet. Now, it's very important that you have all those elements in play. And when you do, when you have a banger creative, you can get leads for under $5. So that means you're spending 100, you're getting 20 leads back. Out of those 20 leads, you're going to book some. You're going to book them in and close them. Very important. All right. That being said, guys, appreciate you watching. That is in a nutshell how it works. Again, if you guys want more one-on-one help on building this out for yourself, if you want us to build this process for you, click the link below, book a walkthrough call with myself or our team. That being said, I'll speak